never guess the places that I've been. You never guess the places that I've been. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that dream that I live in. I'm never gonna let the day begin. Never gonna let the day begin. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that dream that I live in. Oh, don't wake me up before you go, and I'll just make this bed my home. Oh, darling, please just let me sleep. Give me my dreams. Better from above. Nothing's ever as it seems, yeah, except in that world that I dream of. Never gonna lose the ones I love. Never gonna lose the ones I love. 'Cause everything is like a dream, yeah, but only in that world that I dream of. Oh, don't wake me up before you go, 'cause I can't face this day alone. Oh, darling, please just let me sleep. Give me my dreams. Give me my dreams. Give me my dreams.
About ready to get this party started? Yes, indeed. Underway on a Thursday. Yeah, we'll take that once you get through hump day. You can start thinking about the weekend is on the horizon. Yes, indeed. And hope your week's going well. What's going on? Another action-packed show. All the latest updates. I tell you what, doing show prep, you're hard-pressed right about now to find some things to talk about other than COVID or Afghanistan. It's just everywhere you turn, that's all you see, all you hear. I've done my best to dig up some other things to maybe discuss as we roll into it Thursday. We start things off, a look at our travelers' weather around the country. A couple of areas where Mother Nature's going to be slowing you down tonight. Yeah, we've got several clusters of showers, thunderstorms, some pockets of heavier rain. And they're not moving a whole lot. Very, very slow-moving storms in northwest Indiana, northeast Illinois, to include the Chicago area. You get a bit further south, down into central portions of Illinois. The storms have been trying to make some progression slowly to the south and southeast, but especially there in northeast Illinois. Yeah, got some flash flood warnings as well as northwestern portions of Indiana. Maybe zoom into some of those. I bet we've been seeing inches of rainfall because these storms have been kind of just setting nearly stationary for hours in those areas. So again, not making a whole lot of progression as we roll on into the day here Thursday. Forecasters concerned, again, some communities stretching from the Dakotas and Nebraska Eastward to Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, may be hit with some dangerous, damaging storms and torrential rain continuing again through the day today and on through Friday, as a matter of fact. We've seen some of these storms, especially with the daytime heating in the afternoon hours and early evening, reaching severe limits. Showers and thunderstorms are going to fire up and kind of repeat over the northern edge of this big area of high pressure that's kind of stuck, lingering over Oklahoma, and it's going to stay there through the end of the week. Some of the major cities that could see flash flooding. Again, Des Moines, Iowa, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Minneapolis, and Milwaukee, Chicago. Yes, you're in the mix. And possibly even Detroit. Looking back Tuesday into Tuesday night, 24 hours ago, we were talking about some of these severe storms, strong winds, torrential downpours from portions of Minnesota and Iowa into Wisconsin, Illinois. Thousands were without power. Part of the Chicago area saw some of those torrential downpours Tuesday evening. 1 to 2 inches of rain in some neighborhoods. They did see some street flooding there. Tonight, heavy, gusty, locally severe thunderstorms swept from eastern Montana and western portions of the Dakotas through much of Nebraska and all the way over to the lower peninsula of Michigan, through parts of Ohio, central Pennsylvania, and on over into western New York. This high pressure over the southern plains may begin to break down, allowing that pattern to break up a little bit between now and the weekend. However, one pattern in showers and thunderstorms may hand off to another wet, thundery pattern for the northern plains, as well as parts of the Midwest. As we look ahead through the day today, Thursday, the risk of heavy, gusty, severe thunderstorms will extend from parts of Montana once again, all the way over to southern Minnesota and much of Iowa. The main threats today will be high wind gusts, flash flooding, and maybe some isolated reports of hail. Friday, the main threat will extend from the Dakotas to Wisconsin once again. So we see some of those same areas, kind of lather, rinse, repeat kind of scenario that's been set up. Pull up some of these flood warnings, which, as I mentioned, northwest Indiana, places like Gary, Indiana, northeastern portions of Illinois, not Chicago direct, but see some of these. Radar indicated that the heavy rain, thunderstorms have begun to abate a bit across the area, but we saw 2 to 4 inches of rain over the past few hours. Highest rainfall amounts were in the Sugar Grove area. So that's where you got some of the flash flood warnings. Flash flood is ongoing or expected to begin shortly. Now, that was put out at 11:30 Eastern Time, about 30 minutes ago. So that's where we've got some of our active flooding rains taking place. Meanwhile, forecasters expect some relief, maybe a bit of relief on the horizon from the prolonged heat and humidity to take hold across the Northeast this weekend. And it won't be a massive fall preview for areas from Virginia to Pennsylvania, but the hot, humid conditions in the wake of Henri earlier this week going to linger again through Thursday and Friday. That means more temperatures from the upper 80s to middle 90s with heat indices from in the 90s or lower 100s. There are some changes coming to New England this weekend. People in the mid-Atlantic hoping for maybe a blast of cool, refreshing air, and you're probably going to be disappointed here. It's tough for cold fronts to reach much of the Atlantic coast this time of year. That's going to be the case over the next several days. For a front to roll through with a major change to cooler weather, there's got to be a pretty significant southward dip in the jet stream to help nudge that Bermuda high out of the way. Well, and instead, the jet stream's going to barely have a ripple this weekend. So the air aloft is going to remain quite warm. There will be some cooling in the lower portions of the atmosphere that would be assisted by the Atlantic Ocean. Water temperatures right now are at their highest levels of the year, ranging from the 60s along the coast of Maine. You got water temperatures in the lower 80s along the Virginia Capes. So any cooling by way of a northeasterly or easterly breeze is going to be limited and probably carry some moisture with it. A little bit of a reduction in humidity for New England, parts of upstate New York. The drop may become progressively less noticeable as you move further south as we head to the weekend. It's possible that we could see really maybe no significant change in humidity in New York City and areas south of that. High temperatures are forecast to take a little bit of a hit, especially in New England and northeastern New York State. Highs forecast to trend downward to the 70s and maybe even some upper 60s for that region, which would be quite pleasant for this time of year. Some of the best weather this weekend in terms of low humidity, sunshine, fall-like conditions will be occurring in Maine, closer to the source of the cool, dry air from eastern Canada. For example, high temperatures in Bangor, Maine, forecast to trend from the 90s today to the lower 70s for highs on Saturday, probably upper 60s on Sunday. Now, that would be temperatures more typical of mid to late September. So for that region of the country, it will almost be a little preview of fall. Further south and west, the highs may only drop maybe 5 to 10 degrees lower by Sunday. Highs are forecast to range from the middle 80s, from Pittsburgh to Philadelphia, maybe just shy of 90 in Washington, D.C. Anytime there's a flow of air partially or fully coming from the Atlantic, there can be some issues with cloud cover, lingering misty conditions, even patches of rain or an occasional thunderstorm. These are also concerns for this weekend in the Mid-Atlantic, the Central Appalachians, as well as the Great Lakes. For those headed to the beach this weekend, in addition to the potential for some stubborn clouds or even some rain, you'll have a stiff breeze from the Atlantic. Could see some rough surf, some strong rip currents from southern New England coast down to Long Island, New York, maybe New Jersey and Delaware as well. Through Thursday night, the storm risk is going to be pretty much confined to the Central Appalachians and the eastern Great Lakes. By the weekend, some spotty storms may extend eastward, reaching the Mid-Atlantic and southern New England coastal areas. There's another potential concern at the beaches is that runoff from Henri's flooding Sunday and Monday may have washed some pollutants out into the surf zones. If you're being advised to abide by any local restrictions set forth by officials there. By the middle and latter part of next week, it may be possible for a more substantial push of cooler, less humid air into the Appalachians and the Mid-Atlantic. However, potential developments in the tropical Atlantic, as well as the Gulf of Mexico in particular, may add some level of complexity to the forecast should a system push northward into the southern states. Well, that's what we'll get to coming up here momentarily. And there's several areas of concern as far as the tropics are concerned. Let's go ahead briefly on that because, the systems are kind of packed and stacked out there. 1, 2, 3. The peak of hurricane season off to a pretty fast start. And they're keeping an eye on several features in the Atlantic Basin that could develop in the coming days. But if nothing else, they're keeping the water maps pretty crowded right now, the weather maps, rather. As of Wednesday, forecasters monitoring 3 other tropical waves that could be the next named systems there in the Atlantic Basin. One is over the Caribbean, the other 2 out over the open waters of the Atlantic. As of Tuesday, that tropical feature over the Caribbean is the most immediate concern for impacts to land, life, and property. Looking rather poorly organized, it may not take shape until the latter part of this week or maybe this weekend. Elsewhere over the Atlantic, the skies are teeming with activity, and not just of the tropical variety. Large amounts of Saharan dust have been wafting off the northwest coast of Africa in recent days. Some of that has reached all the way over to southern Florida, or will do so, maybe coming up this weekend. You'll see kind of milky sunsets. Satellite imagery showing clouds of dust in both areas where tropical activity is brewing. Now, the other two features are way out over the Atlantic, but they also have some atmospheric hurdles to overcome if they're going to reach tropical storm force to garner a name. Any of these three could be the next named storm in the Atlantic Basin. What are the next names? Let's see. We're up to the I. Ida will be next, IDA, followed by Julian, and followed by Kate. So Ida, Julian, Kate, the next three names on the list. One of those tropical features is about 800 miles southeast of Bermuda. Moving northwest, this feature has the best chance to evolve into a tropical depression or storm over the next 48 hours. But it is dealing with dry, dusty air, which is trying to inhibit tropical development. The other tropical wave, as of Wednesday, was several hundred miles southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands, almost near the equator. Now, that could play a role in its chances of strengthening. The current problem with this easternmost feature is how close it is to the equator. In this part of the ocean, several other physical forces, in addition to dry air, would make strengthening a little less likely, unless it could maybe drift several hundred miles further north. But depending on how fast this wave moves, that northern jog could take several days to occur. So that's, they've got the maps out there in the Atlantic Thursday through Saturday. Just keeping an eye on things. Looks like it's going to be a busy pattern as far as tropical weather is concerned as we roll into the peak of the Atlantic hurricane season, of course. All right, who we got checking in out of the box here? Hello, Colton. Good to have you with us. Yes, you were first. All right, congratulations. Copy the mail, Chevy Guy. Big Moose says second. Gilligan's on board. Morning from the land of entrapment, New Mexico, where it's clear and 84 degrees. Hello, heat wave. Let's see who else checking it. Dave, just here. Glad to see the Big Moose is with us this morning. 007 checking in from Lincoln, Illinois. Still raining here. Rainy, stormy weather. Crazy Ray's on board from West Michigan. Checking in, 75 degrees there. Hello from Caldwell, Idaho, from Alpine Mike this morning. Richard checking in there in Central Florida, 81 degrees. How you feeling, Steve? Feeling fine. A-OK. Thank you very much. Good morning from Wilson, North Carolina, 75 degrees, clear skies. Hello, Billy. Big Red from Indiana checking in. Looper said, played bad golf with a heart patient friend today. I said, I wish I could slow my swing down. He reached in his pocket, pulled out a handful of pills and said, yeah, how slow do you want to get? Okay. Looper, so he was going to throw you for a loop, huh? Hello to Captain Ron checking in tonight. There's Kentucky Ken on board. Driving to serve begins soon. All right, going to be hitting the road, right? Papa Rock checking in, camped out in Shreveport, Louisiana tonight. Jeffrey, good morning, Steve. Trucking to Carlisle, 72 degrees in Breezewood, PA at this hour. And let's see, Lori checking in. Morning, 78 degrees here in Buffalo, New York. Good to have you with us, Lori. As always, our number is 844-844-3388. And yeah, hello, Monkey Gouger, just checking in Lubbock, Texas. He said, it's hot here in Lubbock, Texas. On board, 17 past the hour. Get some of the industry headlines coming up here. As I said, lots to cover. What's on your mind? Good to have you with us. The Steve Sommers Overnight Drive live from the Hotshot Secret Studios.
Live from the Hotshot Secret Studios, the Steve Sommers Overnight Drive.
Are you having trouble sleeping? Are you tired all the time? Growing older is a fact of life. Our skin starts to wrinkle, muscles get weaker, and our energy levels plummet. If there was a product that may help you slow down these symptoms of aging, would you be interested? I want you to go to getonthegel.com. That is getonthegel.com. untitled.com. Watch this 4-minute video that explains more about this amazing product. Or call us at Youth Fountain HGH today at 513-472-0699 for more information.
Diesel Army is on duty 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Burning the midnight oil with the best diesel coverage. All the tech, all the torque. Diesel Army, where there's smoke, there's fire. For the latest news and event coverage, as well as feature and tech articles, sign up for the newsletter and don't miss a thing. Visit dieselarmy.com from the Power Auto Media family of digital magazines. Again, it's dieselarmy.com.
Dean Michael, the tax doctor here. Are you tired of those tax problems following you around like a dark cloud, always in the back of your mind, losing sleep at night? Call me now and get your life back. 888-557-4020 or go to mytaxhelpmd.com. Pretending they're not there won't make them go away. The IRS isn't going to forget. They will levy your bank account and garnish your wages. Don't wait for that to happen. I'm not telling you these things to scare you. I'm telling you so you can benefit from my years of experience. Now is the time to act. 888-557-4020.
Do you have a Dodge pickup and hate your automatic transmission? Of course you do. Levon Miller at Firepunk Diesel here, and we specialize in heavy-duty and performance transmissions for your 3/4 or 1-ton Cummins-powered truck. So if you're interested in turning your stock slush box into a towing monster, call us today at 614-733-3744 or visit us online at shop.firepunk.com.
And now, back to the Steve Summers Overnight Drive, live from the Hot Shot Secret Studios.
Who else checking in here? Let me see. There's Santa Claus checking in from way out west. Top of the morning, Steve. Good to have you with us, Santa Claus. DJ checking in from Robinson, Illinois. Counting down the days till the Shy Diesel Extravaganza in Lyons. Hey, you know what? That's coming up here in just a couple of days, right? We touched on that last evening. Yeah, the Outlaw Diesel Super Series 25th annual Shy Diesel Extravaganza. It's coming up this Friday and Saturday. The countdown is on. So here we are rolling into Thursday. I guess Kyle will probably be heading out later today, heading that direction to Wagler Motorsports Park in Lyons, Indiana. It's the next stop of the Outlaw Diesel Super Series. Yeah, one of the longest-running, largest diesel events in the country. This huge event bringing out the fastest diesel drag racers from all over the country, including the world's fastest diesel. None other than the Hot Shot Secret Firepunk Diesel S10 will be there this weekend, along with a number of other Hot Shot Secret sponsored racers. Of course, the pits are open to the public. You can get out there and actually get up close and personal, check out the race trucks, meet the drivers, test passes for all classes starting Friday, qualifying for all the pro classes. That leads to final qualifying Saturday. Then the eliminations for all classes are going to get underway Saturday afternoon. But that's not it for the monster event. You've got the tractor and truck pooling. There's also a show and shine competition, the dyno competition, the kids pedal pooling. Huge vendor midway there. This is one heck of a weekend-long party where they've even got some concerts slated there in the evening hours. Kyle was kind of explaining, yeah, he's really big on the drag racing thing, and he got to go to the big pool town in Bowling Green last weekend. Josh is really he's the one that's big on the tractor pulling, but for this weekend event there at the Shy Diesel Extravaganza, they've got the drag racing throughout the day. And when the sun goes down, I'm not sure exactly what time the transition takes place, but they have the big tractor pool event. So a diverse crowd, a little bit of something for everyone coming up this weekend. Make sure you stop by, say hello to Kyle, tell him you're a Steve Summers Overnight Drive listener. All right, let's jump on to the phones here, see who gets to be first out of the box. Hey, it's the Jolly Green Giant. What do you say?
Good morning, Steve, and hello to all the cartoon characters out there. I wanted to talk this morning as something's got me kind of bothered. All right?
Okay.
All these Walt Disney, Walmart, all these hospitals, retirement homes are all mandating that you have to have shots to work at their place of employment. I've got a dumb question. Why are we doing all that and allowing all of these thousands and thousands of illegal aliens crossing our borders that have not been vaccinated?
Yeah.
And they are being distributed out through the United States. So would please somebody explain to this dumb man why, what good is all this mandating these shots and all the various companies going to do? So what do you think, Steve? What good is all this doing?
It ain't going to do a thing to stop the spread from town to town around the country, and it's leading to hot spots, as they call it. Yeah, anytime one of those buses rolls into a new town with 100 or so illegals where they're being dropped off, yeah, they're just bringing it into that community and starting a fresh spread of virus.
Yeah, I just thought I'd bring this to your attention. I did by observation. I just thought I do not understand where these companies feel that they have the right to mandate these shots when we got all these illegal aliens coming up from our southern border, and they're not being vaccinated or not being forced to be vaccinated. Another thing, is it true that Biden is instead of paying some people to sit at home on unemployment again? Are they doing that again?
As far as like extending the $300, I don't believe, I haven't seen anything where they've extended that past I think the deadline's coming up here like September 6th, something like that.
Yeah, my wife said that Burger King in our area, the Milford area, was shut down. And I know White Castle was closing at midnight. So all these fast food restaurants are hurting because all these people are sitting at home on their lazy butt. So I was telling Flash, okay, if they're going to pay all these lazy people $300 to sit on their butts, why not pay me $300 to work? Okay, and only fair is fair. You're going to pay them to sit on their lazy butt. I want my $300 to work. Why not? It's only fair.
Well, it would seem to be fair. It's not fair that, I mean, I can understand when we were at the peak of the outbreak initially, early on, there were millions of people struggling to make ends meet as the whole damn country was shut down. I mean, we've come a long way from that. Yeah, and it had been bantered around about trying to extend that $300 a week, but I believe even the president himself said it's time to end that. We've come far enough. The economy's strong. Hey, and if you got 10 million jobs available out there, there is absolutely no reason whatsoever to extend that any further. Now, we know that, as he mentioned, I think our local White Castle as well, for months now. I mean, White Castles have always notoriously been, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And they've all been, closing in the evening. I think sometimes even maybe as early as 8, 9 o'clock in the evening, then not open until I think like maybe 7 in the morning. Can't remember what the exact hours have been, but yeah, it's crazy. Can't find people to work. All right, good to hear from you, Jolly Green. Have a safe night out there. It's 844-844-3388. Under our industry headlines, there a truck driver's life saved thanks to the quick thinking of bystanders who braved the flames this past Tuesday in South Carolina. According to Live 5 News, the semi was headed south on I-95 when it had a front tire blowout, sending it crashing into the wooded median area near the 67-mile marker. The truck struck several trees, before coming to a stop, trapping the driver inside but bursting into flames. That's when some witnesses to the crash jumped into action. The truck driver sustained some serious injuries to his legs, preventing him from escaping the cab himself, so the bystanders worked together to brave the flames and pull the driver from the wreckage. When firefighters arrived, the truck was fully engulfed in flames, but the driver thankfully had been pulled to safety. Firefighters had to use chainsaws to cut a path through the trees to properly extinguish the flames, and even cut open the trailer to ensure the fire was properly quenched. Now, I did not have an update on the trucker's condition available at press time from CDL Life, but